I'm Andile Masugu, and this is the African Tech Roundup. Welcome to it. I'm here with the Chief Transformation and Strategy Officer of Backbone Connectivity Network in Nigeria. His name is Ochuko Ogra. Welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for
Good
joining.
to be here.
Well, listen, I'm particularly excited to get inside the industrial psyche of this digital transformation wave that I'm hearing a lot about in Nigeria at the moment.
Yeah.
And before we get stuck in, maybe a little bit about what it is that Backbone Connectivity does to give context to our audience.
Fantastic.
Before we dive in.
So Backbone Connectivity Network, that's BCN, is a 20-year-old company. We're based off of Nigeria, and we're a digital enabler. We have an ISP license. We do long distance metro, fiber connectivity, IP transit, and the whole likes. And we also have managed services solutions that we also do.
And on the fiber side, is that the whole journey to the customer, or is it the backbone, as your name suggests?
Yeah, fantastic.
And as well as last mile?
So we do all.
Okay.
We do all. We're very strong in the north. That's the northern part of Nigeria, and a whole lot of, most of your popular carriers and MNOs ride on our backbone.
Nigeria presents, for many of us who don't live in that market, this simultaneously aspirational market, but also it just freaks people the heck out, man. They're like, what? How, what does it take to succeed in that space? So provide some context for the opportunity, the digital transformation opportunity for a market like Nigeria. You've already given a sense of where you're thriving in the north, which is one of the more challenging places for people from the outside trying to get in or be a part of things, to jump in. How do you frame the opportunity, the commercial opportunity?
The opportunity is huge. Nigeria we have a population size of over 200 million. And if you look at all the spectrum, right, from retail to enterprise, it's huge. Today, the young population is growing. As you know, Nigeria is a huge source of content in terms of, digital content, going on.
Everyone wants to be Nigeria.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you have enterprises also, doing a lot of stuff. We're hearing of AI, we're hearing of 5G and all that. Now, to power that, you need digital infrastructure. And that's where BCN comes in. That aside, you also have things around internal processes, automation, AI, and things like that, right? RPA. So the digital transformation, yes, is a buzzword, but it's just what it is. And Nigeria needs it, across board.
So what is the biggest oversimplification you hear made about preparing Nigeria to be to lead the continent in this area?
So it's easy to say, it's Nigeria, you have the population size, and then things would just work out. But at the same time, we know that today in Nigeria, we have over eight subsea cables, landed in Nigeria. So that's huge capacity.
Wow.
Right? And so how do we take this, everywhere?
As many as 8?
Yeah. And I'm sure you've been hearing a lot around, the Minister of Digital Economy and, and all that, also saying, the
Honorable Tijani. Some of us knew him before, okay.
So you're hearing a lot of things around what they're doing. Just recently at the AI conference, they launched the AI fund, and you're hearing things around, having 92,000 km fiber, and this is just trying to put in place things that will drive exponentially digital transformation in Nigeria. And of course, this goes to government. Government becomes more efficient, and we can get, population, to be more productive. We can take a lot more people out of poverty into, the middle class. And so technology holds a very strong key role in helping drive that impact.
And as a business that's been around for 2 decades now, give me a sense of how your organization thinks about being long-termist, but also being pragmatically focused on short to medium-term commercial objectives. Because I think that's one of the tensions people have with Africa as a continent, if you want to lump us all together. But with Nigeria specifically, where a lot of the opportunity is going to be unlocked by people who are willing and patient. But there's opportunity now too.
For you to survive Nigeria for 20 years, there must be something you're doing right? And now looking forward, what's the next step? One of the first things you want to do is to say, how can you get more value to your customers, right? That's key. It's a value conversation. Once you get value to your customers, then you just survive and you thrive.
In this case, are you talking more about the end user, or are you talking about enterprise clients?
Both. So enterprise, end user. So as I said earlier, we have ISPs carriers that ride on, a backbone. Now imagine that you can, those guys are empowered to go to the last mile, to provide more services to people who don't have, this service that's economic impact. You have situations where we want to empower the education sector to have fiber into almost every schools, hospitals, public sector, it just, the opportunities are endless.
And these are pragmatic conversations about, hey, we'll unlock this much value. This is the value to your business, your bottom line, your stakeholder, your shareholders. So this isn't just, we need to progress.
No. It's value.
It's value. And so financial services, I'm guessing telco infrastructure players, enterprise customers, who is most engaged around this conversation right now? If I were to look into your calendar, who are you having the most conversations bearing fruit around, hey, we can work together to mutual benefit?
Interestingly, every player across the spectrum, we're having very interesting conversations with. And at the enterprise level, people doing more because there's more capacity and then they can do more.
Give me an example.
So financial services, how do you provide more access to people who are unbanked, to the, to have financial inclusion? That's one. And for public sector, how do you want to create smart cities, security, even government efficiencies? So those are the sort of conversations that are going on. So across the strata of the society, we have such conversations happening. That's why we're also doing our expansion across nationally.
So mostly in the north up until now, and you're looking to expand.
No, we're expanding definitely.
And so what's the strategic sensibility of having an ISP as part of your portfolio, an ISP play as part of your portfolio? Did you feel the need of taking a specific value proposition to the market in ways you didn't see other people doing? What was the thinking there?
We've had our license for years, right? It's not really about what the competition is doing. It's about what your customers need. It's about what the country needs. It's about what your enterprise players need. And when you come from that customer perspective, when you come from that user and need-based perspective, then, you just naturally provide those solutions.
And now you have competitors from above coming from satellites and so on. How are you thinking about a landscape that might not be defined by some of the terrestrial legacy sensibilities that have defined it before? Strategically, how are you approaching that? How are you thinking about that? Maybe as, in terms of collaboration or competition, however you frame it.
When you hear companies who want to make a change, companies who are thinking strategically, you think more of collaboration. You think more of, how do we get things done the best way? If you say stuck in the past, then you're just going to lose, right? So you have to think, and that's where we keep reinventing ourselves, keep looking at 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, what's going on, what's going to happen, what's the future. It's interesting to know that, this company you mentioned just came in and then you look, they are number 2 in terms of, user base within a year. That tells you something, right? And so organizations today need to think strategically about their future and how to win, both for the customers and then, of course, for the business and stakeholders.
So then say I hand you this magic wand, okay, and you can wave it and the future you envisage over the next 5 years unfolds as per your strategic proclivities, right? So let's assume you've got some scenarios in your mind that would be highly beneficial for BCN and its stakeholders, and here's the magic wand. And you wave it.
Ooh.
Paint a picture of that future for me, please.
Look, I tell people, if you're an investor, 1, you should think of Nigeria. In fact, you should be in Nigeria. 2, you should start talking to companies like BCN, right? Because this is the future. These are the people that will build the very foundation or the very backbone that will drive whatever AI activities that will drive that future. So if I wave that magic wand, I want, all those sort of people to come in and, build and bring the investment to Nigeria.
Where are these people coming from? Other
Everywhere.
parts of Africa?
Everywhere,
Okay.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Because Nigeria is a destination to be. We're open to having conversations with these people, but
So more conversation. You see a future filled with more conversation, with people trying to partner with folks like you,
of course,
to unlock the value.
of course. I see a future with not just consuming, I mean, as a country, but actually producing. Right.
Yeah.
So yes, you consume at the same time you innovate, you produce, and then you export.
That's a future I can buy into, man.
Yeah.
Here's wishing you all the best. Thank you so much, Ochuko Ogra.
Thank you.
Of Backbone Connectivity Network from Nigeria. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you
on
for
the
having
African
me.
Tech Roundup.
Interesting conversation.